Hey folks, this is Aaron here to remind you that great artists don't always get it right the first time, and of course the best artists out there need a little support from their fans, and the way you guys can do that is going to patreon.com/evacstation. That's how this show is supported, and we would love to have you guys support us. For only $1 a month, you can help us keep going. That's $12 a year. That's less than the cost of most of the movies we're actually talking about. So you guys could really help us out a bit. Just $1 a month, and we can get new shows going. We can get all sorts of new projects going. We can even make this our full-time jobs, and it'd be fucking fantastic. But we can only do that with your support, so please, patreon.com/evacstation, and I'll see you when the show starts. Let's get going.
Country road may lead me home. No, I belong there all on my own. Destiny calls, motionless I stone. No, I can't go. Country road.
Country road, la 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 la.
You're a good friend, I'll never know. Same tomorrow, regret and sorrow, can't take you home.
It must be great for other podcasts doing what they want to do. We just take it one episode at a time. We'll eventually get the hang of this shit. We are Baron Waseska. And I got Raiji Amameters.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I think mine was like the easiest one I've had like in weeks. This is the best one. So guys, welcome to the After Credits show where we're talking about movies, and the intro song for this week was a rendition of Take Me Home, Country Roads. I'm sure if you guys watch the English version, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Ryan, I don't know if it was actually apparent in the Japanese version that they were doing Take Me Home, Country Roads over and over again in that movie.
I caught that, you know, and I actually watched it. I actually watched the Japanese with the sub version, so
okay.
I got that.
Well, I wasn't sure. We watched the English version, and as soon as I heard the song and they brought the lyric with West Virginia, I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to here? I can't wait to talk about this more. It's going to be fun. So, guys, we're talking about Whisper of the Heart. I have some fun things to say about this one, but before we get too deep into that, Ryan, what you been watching?
So this one's gonna be timely for us now, but when you guys hear it, it's gonna be late as fuck, so just forgive us. But I've watched something that I never thought I would ever see.
Me too, Ryan! I imagine it's the exact same fucking thing.
I think so. I mean, perhaps I'm just delusional. Perhaps I imagined it. But if you saw the same thing, then it must mean that there really was a DC movie trailer that didn't suck ass. Are
Ryan,
you kidding?
I'll do you one better. There were 2 fucking DC trailers that actually weren't garbage.
Mind blown. Mind fucking blown.
Now, in all fairness, there was a DC TV show that looks absolute garbage, but everything else looked fine.
We're not paying attention to the cheap shots. That's fine. It's garbage. I knew it was going to be garbage, and fuck it. It's done. It doesn't exist. But, goddamn, Aquaman and Shazam actually look like good movies. I am actually excited for those.
We're going to take 5 minutes to talk about these. These actually look... So, I've had low expectations for Aquaman since they said it was going to happen. Don't get me wrong, James Wan's a good director, he's done some great stuff, but I was just like, man, you've done Saw and some other good horror flicks, you can't fucking make Aquaman, what are you thinking?
Well, so when I saw that Jason Momoa was going to play Aquaman, no lie, I was excited. I was like, okay, Khal Drogo of the sea riding a shark, I'm down for that. If you can find a way to not fuck this up, I will be down for this.
My problem, though, is he looks so much like Roman Reigns, I can't unsee it.
Bruh.
He doesn't look like Aquaman. He looks like a fucking WWE star.
You know what, man? It's fine. It's fine.
Granted, he does not look as garbage as some of the things we've seen from DC, like Doomsday or Zod, or a lot of things, honestly. But yeah, it's not Aquaman to me. He's more Aquaman than Henry Cavill is Superman in terms of acting, but in terms of visual look, he does not look like an Aquaman. I'm going to be picky about that.
You know what? It's okay. It's okay. I know Aquaman is supposed to be like the kind of clean cut, like blonde / brunette dude with the chiseled jawline. But you know what? You want to give me a rugged, fucking, like Icelandic, like dude with crazy ass tattoos that looks like he could just rip you apart with his bare hands because he fucking could. Yes, I will accept this twist on Aquaman. Yes, sir.
Now, in the trailer, there is one moment. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about here when I say it. So there's a moment in this trailer that reminds me of a very, very familiar scene from the Harry Potter movie. Do you know which scene I'm talking about?
I don't think so. What are you talking about?
So I'll give you some context. So in the Harry Potter movie, in the very first movie, Harry and his family are out to go see this new exhibit.
I know what you're talking about.
And they're at the snake exhibit. These kids are bullying Harry, and Harry inadvertently uses magic to make the snake attack the people who are going after him. Sort of. In this movie, I feel like they lifted that same thing. It's not bad that they lifted it, because, I mean, it looks fine, but the minute I saw it, I'm like, they just rip off Harry Potter. Because,
a little bit. But you know what sold it for me? And it's the one part about the character that I really, really like.
Yeah.
His eyes. I love, like, that kind of golden gleam to his eyes. It threw me for a loop when I saw it the first time. I was like, okay, alright, I'm here with this. Yeah. Let's go.
So I think, stepping away from all that, though, it looks visually impressive, it looks fun, and I am surprised. This is the first movie since Wonder Woman where I'm like, okay, DC, I'm in your boat, let's see where this goes. And I thought that was going to be it. I thought that was going to be all I was going to see this weekend, and then fucking Shazam dares to walk in the room and be like, oh, hey, let's have some fun with this shit. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what is this? And, like, every single second of that trailer, I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be fun.
You know what I really appreciated, though?
What's
appreciated what they didn't show. I appreciated that they gave you just enough of the movie to give you a general feel of the general feeling that they're going for. You know,
yes.
Like the fun, lighthearted. Yes, this is a big, swole-ass dude with, like, lightning powers given to him by an Egyptian wizard, but he's fucking 13, and he's goofy as fuck, and the movie is gonna be fun. I love that. I love seeing Jimon Honsu as a fucking crazy wizard with the lightning bolt on his chest. That's gonna be hilarious.
I'm glad they didn't show The Rock at all. I know he's supposed to be...
That's exactly what I was getting to. I'm so glad they did not show Black Adam. It must have taken a lot of restraint to not put The Rock in the first trailer, but god damn it.
So
kudos to you. Kudos for holding it back.
Here's my opinion on these trailers. You've shown enough to get us interested. Don't show any more unless it's absolutely necessary. I think you're going to get one more trailer for Aquaman, probably, I'm going to say mid-October, because it comes out in, December? So maybe actually beginning in November. Get that last month in there. Don't show us anything that is going to spoil anything. That's the biggest problem that Batman vs. Superman had, because if they had kept Wonder Woman a secret, if they kept Doomsday a secret, I'm not going to say it would have made it better, but it would have at least been like, oh, that's surprising. I didn't see that coming. So... learn from your mistakes, DC. Do not tip your hand. Give it some time to breathe. And I think Shazam is perfect as is in form of a trailer. I think any more and you basically just spoil stuff. So I'd say leave it as is. I'd say if you have to do it, maybe the week of the release. Don't push anymore if you have to. I like it perfect as is.
when is Shazam slated to come out?
Oh man, I actually didn't look that up at all. I'm gonna look it up right now if you want to vamp real quick for me.
Yeah, well, I'm just, like I said, I'm still just blown away at the quality of the, what the hell was that?
So I'm excited, Ryan, because Shazam comes out the day before my birthday next year.
Hey!
I am hype as fuck, and it's a month after Captain Marvel.
Oh my god. Alright, so next year is slating up to be really, really cool. But god damn it, you know what? If DC really comes out the gate and like actually starts putting out kick-ass movies, I'm gonna be excited. I'm gonna be happy for them. It'll be good to see them go above the low-ass bar that they've already set.
You do realize this means that DC Takeover, when we get to it, is going to be a little longer than we planned originally.
That's okay. That's alright.
I'm just giving you the heads up on that, that's all.
Hey, I'll spend more time on the movies if they're good.
That's fair. Okay, before we move on, there's a couple other trailers that were worth talking about. Godzilla trailer looked pretty good.
That did look interesting. That looked really interesting.
There was a Titans trailer we're not going to discuss because, hoo boy. Beast Boy looked fine. Beast Boy looked adequate for the 2 seconds he was on screen.
What is that supposed to come out on?
So DC has made a streaming platform of their own, ill-advised I would argue, and it's going to have stuff like this show, probably The Flash, certainly Young Justice. That's actually where it's supposed to be released. And this brings up a very important question, Ryan. Why the fuck would you release this Titans live-action edgelord garbage when Young Justice is a perfect sequel to the original Teen Titans show in every way, shape, and form? Like, you're just going to invite those comparisons, and honestly, why would you do this? That's a terrible idea.
Because, growth doesn't happen overnight. Just because they put out 2 good trailers doesn't mean that all of the problems of DC have been fixed. There are still some morons at the top of the company that are making really bad decisions. So we have to grin and bear it and appreciate the progress where it shows up.
Let's see. There was also a trailer for the Harry Potter sequel, the Grindelwald movie, which, you know what?
Fantastic Beasts, yeah.
It looks pretty good. I don't think I'm the biggest fan of the Fantastic Beasts thing, but I think that it still looks fine. I would give it a look.
I need to see it again because the first time I saw it, I had a hard time hearing like a good portion of the dialogue, at least of the dialogue from the main character, and whether or not that was just because I was listening to a shitty copy or because Eddie Redmayne just was talking very, very, very low and very, very.
He is a bit mumbly. He's a bit mumbly.
Maybe I'll have to check it out again. But when I saw it originally, I was digging it. So.
I think I like the concept of the beasts more than the actual plot they ended up unfolding. And I just want to see Pokemon adventure, but with the Fantastic Beasts.
Just want to see Harry Potter Pokemon training.
Yeah, that'd be sick shit. And last trailer that I want to bring up before we move on is a trailer for the 3rd movie in a very unexpected trilogy, Glass.
Yes! Oh my god! Yes! Absolutely! I'm so hyped for this.
So I'm not the biggest M. Night Shyamalan fan. We'll get to that soon. We'll get to that very soon. But this is a very awkward, weird trailer. Not that it's bad. It's unexpected, and it's got a very jarring tone from what you would have expected after Split.
Yeah! I'm super excited. I love the fact that they started the trailer with all 3 of them like in group therapy, and just like for a brief second you have to wonder if the past 2 movies were just hallucinations. Just real quick, like they play it up, so it's just like no, these guys are actually fucking superhuman, and like you haven't just been bamboozled for the past 2 movies, but for a brief instant they make you doubt. And I love that shit. That was really well played.
Oh, yeah. And I'm excited because, one, both the previous movies in this, I'm going to call it a trilogy for now, but both previous movies were fantastic. Unbreakable is probably my favorite of the fuck, what's his name again? Shyamalan movies. And Split is no slouch. I think Split is a perfect demonstration of McAvoy's acting to the nth degree.
McAvoy carried. McAvoy literally picked up that movie with one hand and just took it all the way. Jesus Christ. I think Split might be my favorite. I haven't seen Unbreakable in a very long time. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I really enjoyed it when I saw it originally. So I have to watch it again to kind of refresh my mind. But Split is my favorite. It was The Village, because I actually like The Village. But Split...
I'm going to judge you harshly.
Damn it, I like The Village. Granted, also, I haven't seen The Village in a very long time, so maybe I'll do a Shyamalan watch.
At least you didn't say The Happening.
No, God! Oh!
What? No! Don't rush to rewatch those, Ryan, because I guarantee you we'll rewatch them for this podcast soon enough.
I'm very excited for that. Didn't he do Devil? Was that him?
That's the elevator one, right? I think he did. Yeah, he did.
Devil was good. And that's like, Shyamalan is so fucking hit or miss. It's either, Jesus Christ, this is garbage, or holy shit, what did I just watch? That was nuts.
Well, let's be fair. It's either really good, it's really bad, or it's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Which defies all conception of bad movies.
We do not reference The Last Airbender.
Get ready, boys. That's gonna happen. Just you wait.
Just like... It's only for you. It's only for you that I would watch that shit again. It's only for you and the podcast, the fans who don't talk to us. God damn it. If I'm gonna watch this garbage, you need to at least talk to me so we can bitch about it together, guys. Please.
Yeah, if you want to send letters to us or tweets or Facebook messages, be sure to send those and walk us off and tell us to step away from this ledge that is the Shyamalan movies we're going to try to do at some point.
That will be so much fun.
But yeah, I think we have really good trailers from San Diego Comic-Con, and I that was what I was watching too, obviously, and yeah. I would say that in the absence of Marvel, with their big Infinity War nonsense, everyone else stepped up, and it was really good. Very good stuff.
Yeah, it's good to see some competition come
I'm
very excited for that.
Good competition, no less. I want to say that I'm a little disappointed that Miss Marvel hasn't gotten any kind of thing yet. I was hoping for at least a teaser at this point. We haven't gotten anything. I'm hoping before October hits we get something. Because that's right around the corner. We're getting really close to it.
Yeah. Wait. When is Miss Marvel slated? Next summer?
That is actually the beginning of March.
What?
Yeah, it is really close.
Yeah, you're right. We should have gotten like a teaser at least.
Like, I understand they want to keep the wraps up because Infinity War is still so new. It's going to spoil some stuff for it, probably.
That's fair. You know what? That's very fair.
I really just want to see like a teaser. Just show me the character flying. Just something little. That's all I want.
Yeah, you're right. They're still giving Infinity Room a chance to breathe. No, I gotcha. That makes sense. That does make sense.
All right. Well, that's our much longer than anticipated discussion on trailers, but they were good trailers. We had to do it. So with that, let's get on back to the SummerSlam. This week, we turn our page to Whisper of the Heart, a film released in 1995 and directed by Yoshifumi Kondo, his first and only Ghibli production. It has grossed worldwide a cumulative total of 19,737,000. The English cast includes voice work from Brittany Snow from Pitch Perfect, David Gallagher from Seventh Heaven and Super 8, and Gene Smart from Legion and Veep. This marked the first use of Studio Ghibli of digital composition, meaning the elements of the scene were composed using computer technology. In this case, it's the flying scene with the Baron and within Shizuku's story. Oof. The scene contains a lot of elements moving independently, including some small planets that Shizuku's characters. Although all these elements were animated by traditional means, they were combined using computer technology.
Okay.
And next week, I believe, will be, at least next week for us, it'll be probably a couple weeks for everybody else, I will be discussing Ghibli's first venture into 100% fully CGI animation. So get ready for that.
Whew.
Alright, so before we get going, Ryan, what are your initial thoughts on Whisper of the Hearts?
Initial thoughts, I liked it. I think it's a different aspect of the slice of life genre that Miyazaki is apparently just introducing me to. So I enjoyed it, actually. I have gripes, but the gripe is like all of the gripes that I have for this movie stem from the sequel. So I'm gonna save it for the sequel.
You too. Excellent. Okay.
Like all of the gripes that I have on this movie stem from the sequel because I love the things that this movie talked about and I wanted to see them continued. That's what I'll say.
Likewise, I actually really enjoyed this. It clicked with me in ways that I didn't expect going into it, and as we discuss the synopsis, I'm sure it'll be very apparent as to how those click with me very specifically. So, should we get into that then?
Let's get it.
Alright. Our story begins with a young girl named Shizuku, who is basically my fiancé and I fused into one child. She is a young girl with no ambition at the start of our film, no love interest, and only cares about getting lost in worlds of fantasy. Hey, go play Dark Souls. Her family doesn't get her, and her friends are more interested in talking about boys and their upcoming tests for high school entrance exams. Their graduation comes up. She is writing a cover of Take Me Home for the classes sing a song to sing at their ceremony for graduation. As our story takes off, she notices a young man's name appearing in the book she checks out on the library card. A name Seiji Amasawa. Coincidence? Probably, but to a young girl, impressionable middle school girl, that's basically fate right there. The plot begins when she leaves behind a newly checked out book and returns for it. Upon doing so, a young boy with a come-hither look is reading it. He says a smart-ass comment in regards to her writing skills and takes off, getting her cartoonishly mad. The next day, she happens upon an odd-looking cat who leads Shizuku to an old antique shop. The kindly owner, Mr. Nishi, shows her a really cool grandfather clock and a small statue of a cat in a suit. The hat is noticeably off his head, so not in the hat. When she leaves to meet her father, the same young man rushes to meet her, giving her the lunch for her father she left behind at the shop. Again, another smartass comment before he leaves. Clearly, he likes her. It's teasing. It's not sexual harassment. We're in the green, guys. We're in the green. Check your Twitters. Shizuku eventually learns this young man is at her school, but in a different class. He is the infamous Seiji Amasawa, who has purposely checked out books that she likes to read them before she does to get her to notice him. That's complicated. They jam out one afternoon when she's down in the dumps, and she falls for him pretty quick. But their timing kind of sucks because he's offered a 2-month leave to Italy to work on his crafting skills to make violins. Shizuku, at first, feels self-conscious as she hasn't really figured out what she wants to do with her life yet. And she doesn't want to be a burden for Seiji if they ever want to actually end up together. Girl, you're not even in high school yet. Just take a chill pill. Inspired by his passion, she follows her passion of writing and stories to make a book. She forgoes studying, barely eats, and cuts back on her sleep to get it done in the 2 months' time. Seiji's away. Seiji's away. It's about the cat statue in Mr. Nishi's shop, The Baron. We get a few cool scenes with computer-generated animation to show off this story. When she's done, she goes to Mr. Nishi, who likes it, but says it's a rough draft and needs more work before it can be called done. Shizuku, having done no research into the writing process, or with no understanding of what the a rough draft is, breaks down. Mr. Nishi pulls her back up and tells her that she has to work on her craft before she can expect it to actually be good at it. In the end, she realizes that she needs to go to high school anyway if she wants to be able to write more effectively and fulfill her dreams. Likewise, Seiji returns from Italy to see her, telling her that he's come to basically the same conclusion. They watch the sunrise and he admits loving her and asks her to marry her seconds before the credits roll. While abrupt, at least this time we got an ending.
That's very true. There was.
So, with all that, Ryan, what did you think of that movie?
So first and foremost, I did like it. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm coming to realize that Miyazaki films are almost always about either love or fantasy of some sort.
But that's funny you mentioned that because I'm ahead in the movies right now, and I just finished watching Mononoke. I'm not going to talk about it in any more detail than this, but there's a love story in that too, and you see it in so many of the works. And here's the cool thing, though: it doesn't really detract from the work like you can see in some of the more Western movies.
No, not at all, not at all.
Like
when I say it all has it. Like it's a very, they're all a very naturally they all evolve naturally within the course of the story. None of it feels shoehorned in. But his works almost always have love, fantasy, and or environmentalist leanings.
Quite often, yes.
Right. So I really enjoyed this, but what I really enjoyed from this is that their love and admiration for each other made them want to be better. It made them want to improve themselves, which shows a really underemphasized aspect of a great and healthy relationship, because a good relationship should make you want to be better than the one you were before all of this. The person you're with should inspire you to do better, should inspire you to do greater things, and this movie really fell on that. And so it, on top of having a really cute love story with these middle schoolers who are proposing to each other. Middle school, fucking stop. It really emphasized a very healthy aspect of their relationship, and I really, really appreciated that.
Well, to speak to that, Ryan. So, it's been 2 years since we've been together, but so in our first year of the relationship with Amanda and myself, I don't remember specifically when during the first year. I want to say it was probably over that first. It was I think. When it was in my old apartment, but I don't remember exactly when. I want to say it was winter. Let's go with that. I was telling her that I was having struggles getting my book to the end for the first draft because I just kept getting distracted all the time. And then, so I left for work or whatever one day, and I come back, and she's left me all these little cute sticky notes everywhere. And the one that I have forced myself to keep, because it's the most meaningful one to me, is on my bulletin board right now, actually, that I'm looking at. And it literally just says, "No distractions, get back to work," and it has a little smiley face on it from her. And it's like I said, Shizuku is definitely kind of like what I expect our child to be, obsessed with cats, liking fantasy worlds and writing books, and I think the story clicks with me in a way because I do aspire to be an author, and I do kind of feel like we both have that kind of connection to this character in a very bizarrely specific way. And so, yeah, I think that's why it worked. And I definitely think that, a healthy relationship is one where both people encourage the other to reach for some kind of goal. Because I would say the generation before us, that wasn't necessarily the case. A lot of them were more just let's do things. Oh, hey, we have a kid. Let's get married, I guess. And in the more current age, the millennial generation, I guess, we're all trying to, attain some level of accomplishment in our lives because we want to be successful in something. We want to show something for our lives here. Whether it be a book, a cat cafe, some kind of musical career, something. And I think that relationships of this generation are going to definitely reflect that more, where it's listen, you want to do your thing, I want to do my thing. Let's support each other and make it happen. And I think that's definitely something that's represented in this movie very well, and I definitely think it's a good example of a healthy relationship. For those people who are out there who insist they are a Harley Quinn Joker relationship, stop it. This is there are people I've seen on Facebook and social media who are like, he's my Joker and I'm his Harley Quinn. And I'm like, no.
Those folks did not read the comics at all.
I actually want to respond to him saying, are you okay then? Where does he touch you? Please, call help. Oh, what am I saying? What am I saying? He probably doesn't touch her. He's busy trying to fuck some other dude.
Yep.
Usually in a bat costume. Okay. So let's get some discussion questions. Ryan, is there anything specific you want to get to before I get to those?
No, I think you pretty much said it all. Because like I said, it's all about healthy relationships, and I really appreciated that they took the time out to do that. I really like the fact that, while the main character was aimless in a sense that she didn't necessarily know what she wanted to do, she was still exercising her creativity and exercising her craft. I mean, she has a real gift for poetry, and she was doing small things just for her and just for her friends, and that was so cool. But it was the introduction of Seiji that really got her to focus on a large project just to see if she could, which would in turn expand her boundaries. So I loved that bit. I just loved it. It was really cool.
Well, I just appreciate the fact we had a very good baseline for a character, so we could kind of see a solid arc form in this movie. I'm not saying that for any other reason, but just bear with me here. So anyway, discussion questions here. So first up, Ryan. So what is up with the West Virginia song in Japan? What is up with this?
Honestly, I have no fucking idea. I loved listening to it in Japanese and hearing the various translations of it, and it sounded really cool. It sounded really cool to my ears, but I'm not honestly sure what large significance Country Road had on this movie. Do you have any explanations, sir?
So at first, no, but I have looked up a site called what is this called? So some fan site where it breaks down the meaning behind the lyrics. So I'm going to try to read it as best I can. Take Me Home illustrates the feeling of homesickness. In the first verse, Denver sets the scene of his almost heaven, describing the setting of West Virginia and the many natural landmarks it has to offer. In the line, life is old there, older than the trees. Denver shows his respect for the land because seniority is linked to wisdom, and oftentimes we look up to our elders for comfort and advice. Scrolling down a bit more, the chorus is very straightforward. He wants to return to quote-unquote country roads, the place where he belongs. In this case, it is West Virginia among the Blue Ridge Mountains. However, he mentions a mountain mama, which brings back the importance of the mountains to Denver. In addition, mothers are a symbol of comfort and nurture. Denver refers to the mountains as a mama, in the sense that he finds them as comforting as a mother's touch would be to a child. Do keep in mind, though, that the version we listened to in the movie does change the lyrics a bit, so some of these may not apply. Let's see. Okay, here's the last bit. The line, the radio reminds me of Home Far Away, which I do believe is mentioned, may have been written by Bill Danoff, since he used to listen to radio station that often described the beauty of West Virginia. But as it specifically applies to the movie, and the idea of homesickness, I'm not really sure. Because, it's like she's going anywhere except graduating, so maybe there's an implication that they're going to be missing their old school? It does seem like a very strange song to pick unless you're, in an English class, a hardcore English class, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting, because you don't really get messages of homesickness, in the story.
If it focused more on Seiji's journey when he was in Italy, I could maybe see it, but that's not the case here.
Yeah, it could also be talking about how she misses Seiji as he's gone, because, the majority of the story is going to be this long distance love story where she has to wait for him to return. But
yeah. I don't know. It's especially as I'm trying to look at it as a graduation song, because it's what's originally being pitched as. All I can think of is that they're just going to miss their old school, but I think beyond that, I couldn't really tell for sure.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate the jam session they had with it, though. That was pretty
cool. Really did. I shipped it super hard. As soon as my boy who was sitting there making a violin, he's just like, Alright, fuck, I'm not good at this, but if I'm gonna play, then you have to sing. And then he just busts out Country Road, no fucking music sheets, no nothing. It's just like, come on, you know this one. I'm like, okay, alright, Seiji, okay, you've impressed me, goddamn.
Reminds me of how I used to be able to belt out the Simpsons theme on piano when I had a piano. Girls couldn't sing to that one, though, so I guess that wouldn't have done me any good. Alright, next question. Do you understand the concept of cram schools and testing for high school entrance exams?
I understand the concept. So, at least how it is in Chicago, there are definitely like aptitude tests for the more exclusive and selective high schools, if you want to get into those, and then you have to rank your choices like 1 through 4 of those like of those like more advanced schools, and they take it based on your aptitude tests and based on your grades, and so I kind of understand it, but it's definitely not to it's not as crazy here as it is in Japan, where like everybody's going to like cram school during summer. Like, no.
Well. So I'll break it down for those who may not understand the full concept, because I'm sure we have listeners who are like, "What the hell is a cram school?" So let me break it down. So schools in Japan work a little different, obviously. Basically, once you're in the middle school, you're basically going into a specific high school that's going to gear you for college. It'll gear you for your career. And in some cases, high school just takes you straight to a career. It depends on where you go. And there's a bunch of different high schools in Japan. Iowa has nothing like this. So I think Ryan's example is probably the closest we have in America, where certain high schools are considered to be more elite, have better education programs, have better after-school programs, better job placement concepts, whatever you might call it. So those are the schools that certain kids will test for. So an example, there's this anime I used to watch way back in the day. It's by the same artist and writer who did Death Note. It's called Bakuman, and it is a series where these two kids are trying to make an anime. And at one point, they're working to test for what school they're going to go to. And the smarter of the two kids actually botches his test to stay in the same school with the artist, so they could still work together, which is pretty cool. And then the girl that the artist is trying to impress sticks to the school she's going to because she needs to get into voice acting, which is what she wants to do. And a certain high school track only gets her to that direction. So they end up having to split up for a bit. But it's a long story, but it's sweet. As for what cram schools are, so cram school is essentially kind of like summer school, except in Japan it's a lot more intense. The idea is basically a short cram, I guess is the best way to put it, of studying and test practicing to get yourself ready for those entrance exams, because there are people who do take them exceedingly seriously because they want to get that CEO job or that sweet programmer job or something. Because if you fail that test and you fail getting to the right high school, you could end up being a salaryman, and no one wants to be that salaryman.
Yeah, you get money, but god damn, so much time.
So much time as a salaryman being wasted. Just existing. Not to say the salaryman and the person who is a salaryman shouldn't exist, just that the profession itself is just such a depressing, bleak position.
Yeah, it's like all you do is exist. You work and you eat and you sleep and then you work.
Yep. Basically, it is the modern, it is the Western's equivalent of the office job. So, there you go, everybody. You learned a little bit about Japanese culture there. And as we saw in Ocean Waves, Japanese high schools are significantly different with all their festivals and shit. So, I think, personally, Ryan, from everything I've seen in anime, I think Japanese schools are very impressive, and I'd love to see some of the cultural concepts carried over here. Like, for example, so in schools, in all schools, actually, instead of having a full-on custodial staff to clean the school, the kids actually have to stay behind after school to help clean it. And I'm like, that's a really great idea. It helps encourage kids to keep the school clean to start with, and it has some sort of ability to build pride in their school place. Whereas nowadays, it's just like, get the fuck out of here, we're going to have these old fucks clean it up. And it's like, this also teaches them responsibility and all this other stuff. Like, why aren't we doing this? This seems like a cheaper and more effective alternative.
Because American kids are spoiled.
They certainly are. Fuck you, American children. All of you.
I absolutely include myself in this.
I mean, to be fair, I was part of that system as well, but I would like to think that I would have at least participated in that, because I think that, like I said, having seen it in enough anime and seen it in Japanese schools firsthand, having visited Tokyo and stuff, I do think it is definitely it's the way schools should be going. Not because they need to cheap out on their custodial staff, but because, like I said, it teaches kids responsibility, because if they're not going to learn to clean up after themselves, when are they going to learn it? Because some parents will not teach them that.
Fun fact, I'm learning that now.
All right, yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it was one of the big reasons why I wanted to live alone for a little while, because not living with somebody will take that unconscious safety net away from me, and will just cause me like, damn it, I need to do those dishes because nobody else is gonna do them. All right, let's do that. Fuck, I need to clean the bathroom. This is getting gross. All right. And, it makes me do shit. So, yeah.
No, I hear you. All right, next question I got for you. Have you ever gone as far as Seiji to get the attention of a girl? and to break it down for simplicity, have you ever gone out of your way to do some kind of convoluted bullshit that shouldn't work, but somehow actually does?
Are we counting after we're actually dating? Because I've gone to silly extremes when I was dating somebody.
Yeah. Go ahead. Throw an example out there. I'm curious what you got. I embarrassed myself a lot last time.
Yeah, I know. I figured it was only fair. But when I was dating my high school sweetheart, we were both very involved in the church because our parents were prominent members of the Baptist church. So her church was having a lock-in, and essentially what that is a big youth sleep-in, slumber party in the church for a bunch of kids, essentially. And of course they separate the boys and the girls, but they made double sure to make sure that I was not sleeping near my girlfriend at the time, not because we were getting into any trouble, mind you, but it was so blindingly obvious that we liked each other that they just wanted to head it off at the pass. So they made me sleep right in the middle of the aisle so that people could see where I was going. And one of her friends, it was about around midnight or so, kind of just made her way over to me and said, this girl wants to talk to you. And I was like, okay, send her over. And nothing happened for a while. And so I took it upon myself to, Jesus Christ. I took it upon myself to bear crawl underneath the pews to avoid detection from the rest of the counselors. And I bear crawled my way up to where the girls were staying. And I inadvertently scared one of them because they didn't know I was coming. I mean, I was under the pews, after all. And, she was laughing, but she was also freaking out. What are you doing here? It's your friend said you wanted to talk. And then I ended up having to, scoot away. So for an evening, I got to play Metal Gear Solid in church.
That sounds fun, though. I like that.
Talk to my girlfriend.
I like that. That's good. I like that one.
Yeah.
I don't have anything quite as silly. In most cases, so I don't want to brag here, but in most cases, before a relationship starts for me, typically it's the girls who find me interesting for some reason. For example, one of them I met through my D&D group, and she kind of just gravitated towards wanting to hang out with me and stuff. So, but the closest example I can think of is just my silly bullshit on OkCupid. Just me trying to get attention of people, especially with the most recent edit. Which, if you watched our old podcast on the YouTube channel where everyone helped me fix it, I love the opening line I have to it where I just say I'm the king of the pirates, or no, I'm trying to be the king of the pirates. I don't know why we went with that, but it was hilarious. It was fun.
Yeah. I completely understand the whole like the girls kind of gravitate towards you. That's how I got in my first relationship. My problem is that I kept waiting for that to happen again.
Oh, you gotta stop that shit.
Yeah, I really do. I really do. But I'm
You,
super shy.
at some point, you gotta start casting the net out yourself.
God damn it.
Not to use the tire fish analogy, but I mean, it works here, I guess.
It does. It absolutely does. But I know that logically in my mind, but then then in practice it's like far removed. So like, oh dear God.
All right, next one I got for you here. Did you enjoy the computer-generated animations for the storybook segments? And do you want more of these types of bits of animation, or do you prefer the classic Ghibli style we've come to know and love from the beginning of the season?
You know, I really liked it in this case primarily because it fits so well with Studio Ghibli's art style. It didn't feel like painfully obvious, like, oh, by the way, here's CG. You know, it actually it was the Studio Ghibli rendition of CG animation. So I would definitely I could absolutely see that becoming like just a normal, a natural evolution of the Studio Ghibli art style. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's see. For me personally, I think so. Looking back at the old stuff, the best example I have is Nausicaa from the very beginning of the season, and I still love that animation. I think it's just a very specific nostalgia trigger for me. But we have one coming up here in a couple weeks, and actually we have a couple different movies coming up here in the next few weeks with Spirited Away and with Mononoke that show that they're still learning and growing with their animation style. And looking ahead at the end of the season, we got some pretty baller stuff coming. So I think that this style, this blend here, is solid, and I think it's only going to get better. So I'm excited to see where it goes, but I do think the old style is not bad by any means. I think that this is just a gradual evolution, and it looks really good, and it's transitioning very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I have three more here for you. What rough draft and or first try experience do you remember, and what were the results and your reactions to it?
Man, rough drafts. Shit.
I will share mine real quick because
yeah, go ahead.
So I've written and created stuff all for pretty much my whole life. Even when I was a child, I would make my own little workbooks for like dinosaurs and Pokemon. I even made my own Digimon cards because I didn't want to buy them all, but I wanted to draw them all and be like, oh hey, look, it's my little Agumon card, and it's just a fucking shitty drawing of like a dinosaur-looking thing with the name Agumon slapped on it. But I would say the biggest experience I had with a rough draft from my childhood. So I was really into Pokemon as I am now, but I was into it pretty much way back when. And I wanted to make a board game for Pokemon. Now, was I actually 10 years old at this time? As a 10-year-old, I didn't understand the concept of game design. I was so out of my element here. But I'm like, you know what? It shouldn't be that hard. I'll just model off something I've already played and kind of tweak it a bit. So I think I maybe modeled off Candyland or something very simple just to kind of at least get the basics going. And the name of the game was to literally collect Pokemon and fight gyms on a board game. And so I tried it out. I think I actually convinced my mom and or dad to play with me to at least see if I could get it to work. They had no idea what the fuck was going on when we were playing this shit. And I'm sitting here like, how do I explain this to them? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. By the end of it, I had to scrap the whole thing because I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I'm like, yep, I'm done with this one. Moving on. Since then, I have learned way better techniques on game design, and I wish I had stuck with that a little bit more because I probably could have polished into something really good. But I was 10, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just throwing things on here that sound cool.
Yeah, so my experience with it is it's kind of the opposite, and I wish it hadn't been. I'm coming to realize as I'm becoming more self-aware that this is like one of the bases, like one of my big flaws. As a child, I started out pretty damn smart and talented, And the trouble with that is that when you find something that you're really, really good at when you're really young, you don't feel the need to work hard. So I figured out that I could that my ability to sing was better than a lot of other people's when I was like 5, and I just kept doing that. And whenever I would come up against something that was particularly difficult, it wasn't enjoyable to me because I thought it wasn't good and it wasn't as easy as the shit that I already did really well, so I just stopped it right away. I wish that I had come across something that I really, really liked but was still really, really hard, and I would have learned that perseverance at a much earlier age, because trying to learn that as an adult is like 10 times harder.
What you're saying is you needed a Dark Souls when you were younger to teach you how to persevere through challenges.
Yes. Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
Just a heads up, everybody, this podcast is brought to you by Dark Souls. It challenges you and makes you it makes you more of a person than you need to be.
It makes you a better human being.
Dark Souls, go play it today. Okay. Let's see, I got 2 more questions here. Do you think Shizuku was in over her head for the line of work she jumped in for, and do you think she'll stick with it after high school?
I think...
Man,
I don't know.
I wish the next movie answered this question a bit better for us.
Oh,
go on.
Man, don't. Look, okay. I personally really applaud that she just like straight out said, "I'm gonna write a novel," and it's just like, oh shit, wait, girl, you're like 12. What do you mean you're gonna write a novel? But it's not. But what I appreciated about it was that she was really serious about it. She was really dedicated to it. She didn't just set out and say, okay, well, I'm gonna just write, and then in an afternoon I'll have a novel. No, she like actually like went and researched a bunch of shit. Like she like actually put in the work and the time and the effort, and she pushed herself like to create this story. So do I think she was in over her head? I will actually say no, because we didn't get a scene where she was writing and it's just like, oh shit, this is a lot of work. Oh boy. I mean, she had already...
We didn't get that scene where she was writing for a while, then she stopped to play video games for 5 hours.
Right. And I think it was so important to establish her character as somebody who genuinely enjoys writing before she started before she started writing the book. Like, you showed her, like, her spare time, her joy, her relaxation was finding books and just like reading them just to read them, or like writing different poems and translations for American songs for her friends to sing during graduation. Like she was already like really into her craft, and the book was just the first real concentrated effort of it. So I wouldn't say she was in over her head, because she gave it the attention it deserved almost from the beginning.
That's fair. I don't think she's in over her head either. I mean, NaNoWriMo exists for a reason. Mm-hmm. National Novel Writing Month. I mean, people can do it in a month or 2 months. She had double the time. She had plenty of time to do it. It's fine. I would say my complaint is that she was in over her head a little bit by not looking up what the writing process entails. Not knowing the rough draft process, not knowing how publication works, not knowing any of that stuff. And I'm not saying that you can't just start writing and enjoy it and not do, and you have to not doing that misses out the whole point. But her disappointment at the end of it, to me, kind of shows that she didn't learn as much as she needed to fully understand what she was jumping into. Which is fair. She's a middle schooler. I mean, you're not going to know everything from day one. But I do think that it's amazing how much research she did on everything for her story, but not the actual writing process of the story. I thought that was kind of... It was cute. It was funny, and I enjoyed that a bit. Whether or not she sticks with it after high school, I don't know. One thing I will say is that in high school, you learn a lot more about yourself, and going into college, you continue that process of figuring out who you are and what you want. And I would say if she truly wants this relationship, if she truly wants to stick with this relationship and this steadfastness to this creative field, Yeah, I could see her sticking with it. But I could also see her getting into drama clubs and wanting to become an actress. I could see her getting into speech classes and writing good speeches and realizing, oh, I'm really good at this too. So she could go in a lot of different directions. But I think that based on what we're seeing here, writing could very easily be a part of whatever career she gets into. It just depends on how she wants to use it.
That actually, so it allows us to segue into the ending, or at least like to the near ending when she finished the book and she gave it to the grandpa to read, and when she broke down in tears. So when that happened, I didn't see it as, or at least it didn't read to me that she was disappointed with the work. What I guess the way it came off to me was that it was almost like it was the emotional equivalent of her finally like setting this burden down, because she had put herself through so much and she had finished it and she got to the end of it, and she was like super critical of her own work. And I thought that she did end up learning the lesson that, like, it's not going to be perfect the first time, but it, like, she put so much of her hard work into it. That's why she said that she learned that wanting it isn't enough. Like, she has to actually, like, put the effort in, and she did it.
I meant more in the sense she didn't learn that during the process. She learned it after the fact, after she talked with Nishi and discussed the whole thing in more detail, but that's something I feel like she could have picked up during the actual creative process and during her research, is what I meant.
That's fair. But then again, she was 12. So...
No, I did clarify that too. She is 12, so...
So, like, I definitely... I appreciated the arc. I appreciated that she had so much, like, resilience to actually, like, attempt and finish a novel, and then was able to, really grow as a person from that process. Like, and it took a lot out of her. It took a lot of emotional and mental, like, anguish, and it took a lot out of her schoolwork and her family worried about what she was doing, and, like, not, like, paying attention to school, but she did it. She pushed herself. She learned a lot about herself, and I would have absolutely loved to have seen a grown version of her. I mean.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's why I click with this movie super hard, is because I have been writing stuff since fucking forever, and I respect the creative process, and I don't know, just seeing a character go through a lot of the same shit I kind of went through, but in fast forward, I like it. I appreciate it, and I think this is a movie that clicks with me super hard. And the fact she's also cat obsessed helped make Amanda enjoy it a lot more when she watched it with me. So it was fun. It was a good time. Okay, last question in the discussion here, Ryan. That's not a question, but a challenge. Are you ready?
Oh boy.
So this podcast has not come out for a while. And according to my chart, let's see, Mononoke. Nope. Whisper of the Heart. Here we go. It comes out September 5th, so the beginning of September. We are going to be recording this, for those listening, we're recording this at the end of July, basically beginning of August. I'm going to give you 2 months, Ryan. So basically when we start putting out our Halloween shit, 2 months. What is one dream or goal you want to accomplish in those 2 months, and we can check back on it in those 2 months? Doesn't have to be anything huge, just something that you think that 2 months, I can get that done. Let's do it.
I want to learn how to play a song on guitar.
All right.
Yeah.
Would it be cheating if I picked Finish My Damn Book in 2 months?
No, that's not cheating.
Okay. So in 2 months, we'll check back to see if I finish my damn book and Ryan learns the guitar.
A song on the guitar. There's no way I'm going to master the fucking instrument in 2 months.
No. I'm not saying master. I'm just saying, get the basics, learn the song, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Any particular song you'd be interested in trying to learn first, or do you want to do like a hot cross buns kind of thing?
I'm not entirely sure. There's one thing that I was actually considering, because I was asked. So I'm a groomsman for a wedding coming up in October from one of my friends from grade school, and he asked me to sing for the wedding.
That copycat.
I'm trying to. I'm helping him pick a couple of songs, but they're definitely into like the kind of folk slash rock genre. So I've been trying to find like a good like guitar ballad for them that they could have somebody sing, but that they could have somebody play with me. But like far off goal, if I just ended up accompanying myself at the wedding, it'd be really, really cool.
That would be pretty cool. You'll have to let me know how that goes, especially since I want you to sing at my wedding too. So
Yeah.
I've definitely invested in this. You can, I'm interested to hear this too. I'm looking forward to this. This will be good. This will be good.
Yeah. I'll
And the timing of this works out really well.
Okay. Yeah, I've got my friend Charlie's wedding in October. I've got your wedding, and I've got another wedding next year as well. Lord have mercy. All right.
You're gonna be a busy man.
Everybody's getting married. God damn it.
All right. Well, we've already discussed the mailbag situation. You guys can send us stuff, and we'll read it when we can. If we don't get anything substantial before the end of the season, at the end of the season, if we get anything, we'll just do it all at once and have like a big mailbag episode. We might have fun with that. So Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr. You can also go to evacstation@gmail.com. Ryan, what is that email again?
That is evacstation@gmail.com.
You're goddamn right it is. Moving on to the conspiracy corner real quick. Cue music real quick. Play it. There we go. Okay, so let's see, conspiracy corner. So I have 3 things here. I'm sure you've caught at least one of them. One of them was really quick, and the other one's exceedingly subtle. So in Shizuku's room, she has a little witch on her in her room that's like a decoration. And according to what I've seen, this is supposed to be a subtle reference to Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh, I
Little
missed
Witch.
that one. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Next up, in the library, there's actually a book with the title Totoro.
Really?
Yep, you can look at the spine and it'll say Totoro on it. I'm like, oh, that's cute. I actually saw that one. I actually paid attention to that one. So,
Damn. All right.
and its next one, I think you might have caught the grandfather clock.
Yep, that one I got.
Yep, it has Porco Rosso printed on it, meaning either it may have belonged to the pilot or it was made by him. We don't know, but it's got his name on it. That's all we know.
Yep.
Porco Rosso seems to be throwing in a lot of these for references, just for really cheap, quick ones. It's weird.
Just real fast. It's fine. It's fine.
But I like the Totoro book. It's really good. All right, so we're at an hour and 2 minutes at the time of recording. Do you want me to skip the trivia and go straight to our critique/review?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, this is the second time I had to skip trivia.
We get into deep conversations on this. It's something about Miyazaki, man. It's something about Studio Ghibli.
Hey, I ain't complaining. All right, so if you wanted to find out what our review scores are like, go down to the link in the description down below to see our system, which is platinum, gold, silver, bronze, stone, dirt, and shite, where you can kind of see what all those mean and why we rank them that way. So today we're going to be ranking Whisper of the Heart. As you could clearly guess, it's what the podcast is all about. It's in the name. So Ryan, give me some critique. What do you think of this movie? Where are you going to rank this at?
So it's actually really interesting. I like at the beginning of the movie. At the beginning of the podcast. I was going to give it a bronze because it was really cute and like I didn't think it was like must see. But after really talking about the healthy relationship and like self-improvement that really is like at the crux of the whole film, I give it a silver. I gotta give it a silver because it's the message that it's conveying is too good. It's too good to not pass up. It's too good to pass up. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Oh no, you're fine. So I really like this one. It was a bit slow at first, but Shizuka really speaks to me, like I said before, with how similar our interests and how similar our paths of being artists and dreamers kind of became. I feel like this film is kind of like a reality check needed for the younger artists and dreamers out there who are rushing into the kind of crafts they want to get into but aren't really taking time to hone them. It's a good reality check to remind them that, hey, slow down, you're young, take time to learn this, learn it right, and really make it the best you can do the first time around. Or at least make it the best you can do. Don't just throw stuff out there because you can throw it out there. So I think it's definitely a very, very good film in that regard. And on top of all the stuff we've already said. So Ryan, we aren't ranking these movies, but I have started making a list of Ghibli movies and kind of ranking them myself to see where I'd put them. This movie is definitely near my top end of this list for me. I have to say that I would give this movie a gold ranking.
Oh wow!
It personally, it clicks with me that much. It's a very low gold at the very most. It's on that borderline between gold and silver. But I'm going to push for gold because I think it's just it clicks with me that much. And if anyone else out there likes it to that degree, I'd say go for it. Just check it out.
Yeah, I will not knock that. Absolutely, that's entirely valid.
All right, so next week, y'all will be listening to us talk about Princess Mononoke. But because Ryan and I are gluttons for punishment, we decided to record this with another video, or another podcast, which will be a different movie that is nowhere near the caliber of Princess Mononoke. So tune in next week for Princess Mononoke, and we'll see you after the credits.
Hi. I love how you almost threw the ending in there.
Almost.
And I'll see you before the show starts. Bye. Shit.
I forgot what I said last time at the intro, and so I had to stop and like, oh shit, what do I say? Fuck it, improv, go.
Oh Lord.
Alright, here we go, intro, here we go.